Hello everyone, my name is Arun and I'm working as a solutions architect with Rackspace, and this is my YouTube channel and these are my views. And today we are going to understand the solution architect's responsibilities. And just wanted to mention here, recently I got my MCT kit as well, that is Microsoft Certified Trainer. All right, so let's get started with the solution architect responsibilities. So let me click here and I'll started writing down here as the very first requirement is understand the first responsibility is understand the requirement. That is, we can also call it functional requirement, or we call it functional requirement. These are the requirements that the end user specifically demands as basic facilities that the system should offer. All these functionalities need to be necessarily incorporated into the system as a part of the contract. So basically, business requirements are at the center of any solution design, and they are defined in raw terms when a project starts. It is necessary to engage a diverse set of groups from the beginning, which includes the technical capability to identify requirements. Then we have the second requirement, which is non-functional requirement. Okay, which is very important as a part of solution architect, because this is something uh, that your customer and user is not aware of, because they are not uh, tech friendly people, they are more like a business people. So non-functional requirements may not be visible, it's right to say, may not be visible to users and customers directly, but their absence may impact the overall user experience in a negative way and hamper the business. So, non-functional requirements includes critical aspects of the system, such as performance, latency, scalability, high availability, right? So this is something that you brought in the picture. You need to talk about these things to the customer so that they can come to the right decision before you go and design your solution. Okay, so what's the next responsibility? That is understand the constraints, which is very important, because this is where your promise lies, your liability lies. Because if you say I'll deliver the solution in 5 days but you couldn't, see what happened. So constraint is more like more like dependencies, you could say. Not exactly dependencies, but architecture constraints are one of the most challenging attributes of solution design. A solution architect needs to manage architectural constraints carefully and be able to negotiate between them to find an optimal solution. Just to understand it better, let me give you an example. Like, you could have all the wonderful technology around, like you open the Azure portal, you have so many things that you could utilize in your design, but be aware somebody has to pay, right? So you should be aware what is the cost involved, what is the budget of your design, right? You should be aware timeline that I mentioned at the very beginning. Maybe you are going to plan so many things in your design, but it will take time and customer doesn't have time. It would have another repercussions, but for now this is a constraint. Compliance could be the constant region, data would not move from one region to another, those kind of things, right? So constraints needs to be figured out at the very early stage, else a lot of rework you gotta do, you gotta do, right? So constraints. Technology selection. That's why solution architect, technology selection is the key aspect and complexity of the solution architect's role. There is a broad range of technologies available. We all know that we could utilize the IS or PaaS or SaaS. Even in IS, there are a lot of things going on, right? A lot of automation going on. There are different kind of tools available. So A solution architect is required to identify the right ones for the solution, right? For example, you have let's pretend like it's a brownfield, or maybe lift and shift, or maybe it's a migration project where you do have a SQL server on premises. Now you could utilize SQL in VM in your design. You could utilize Azure SQL or managed instance. See, so it's solution architect's job to identify the right ones as per your need, as per your requirement, as per your solution. What are you running as per your need, right? So the solution architect needs to have a breadth and the depth of technologies to make the right decision, since the chosen technology stack can impact the overall delivery of the product, right? So each problem can have multiple solutions. As I mentioned, give the example of SQL, and an available range of technologies. To make the right selection, a solution architect needs to keep functional requirement and non-functional requirements in mind and define selection criteria while creating a technology decision. Okay, so this is very important responsibility of solution architect. Now, POC and prototype. This is a fun part of the job where you are doing your hands dirty. So, creating a prototype is probably the most fun part, as I mentioned. To choose a proven technology, a solution architect needs to develop a proof of concept in various technology stacks to analyze their fit for functional and non-functional requirements for the solution. This is something that it's not like for every solution you just go to the Azure portal and start building it up. It is for some weird or challenging situations where you're not sure whether your design will work or not. So you have to go and do the POC. Okay. And after evaluating multiple platforms using POC, the solution architect may proceed with prototyping to a technology stack. If you want to put this SQL example here, I don't know what kind of application you have. Let's go and check it out whether it will work with the Azure SQL or managed instance, or SQL on VM is the only choice that we got. So we gotta do some POC and the prototypes. Uh, Solution architect build have limited functionalities, which can prove a challenging aspect of solution development. Okay, so the other one is DD, or detailed design and delivery. So this is something like once you have your functional requirement in place, you have discussed this with the customer in deep with all the probing questions, what they really want, and you offer the non-functional requirement, explain them what is good for them and what they should have or what they must have, and then you went through the constraint, you tried to negotiate about it, you did your POC, selected the technology. Now it's time to put everything together. Designing here, you'll mention all the documentation, you put down your diagram or the design. Maybe you're using Visio or the Lucid chart or any other tool. Okay, so that's what the responsibility is for. To do this part, you usually because during the entire process you might have your onboarding manager or your PM assigned to you, who is responsible for all the communications. So once the working sessions or these meetings are done where you have all that previous responsibilities are done, then you would ask for some time to prepare your detailed design, because you have to put together everything, right, in the words and as well as in the diagram design, right? So that's what it's DD, detailed design and delivery. Now, you also need to engage the stakeholders, right? And stakeholders could be anyone who has a direct or indirect interest in the project. Stakeholders could be internal or external to the project. Internal stakeholders include the project team, sponsors, employees, and senior management. External stakeholders include customers, suppliers, vendors, partners, shareholders, auditors, and the government, it depends. So often stakeholders have a different understanding of the same business problem as per their context. For example, a developer may look at a business requirement from a coding perspective, while an auditor may look at it from a compliance and security perspective. A solution architect needs to work with all technical and non-technical stakeholders. So he must have that kind of uh, understanding, you know, he must have that kind of communication so that he could deliver technical thing in non-technical language, and he could talk to everyone and explain things, how things are going on, and what they need, what they do not need, as per the real requirement. Okay, then we have, once this detailed design is done, everything is hunky-dory, and now your job is still not over, because you got to ensure the operability and maintenance, right? So the solution architect plays an integral role after the solution's launch in respect of product operability. To handle the increasing user base and product utilization, a solution architect should know how to scale the product to meet demands and ensure high availability without impacting the user experience. So see what I just did there, and these are the all the responsibilities of solution architects. It may vary as per the organizations, but in a nutshell, this is what a solution architect supposed to do. And I'll try to explore few of the responsibilities in detail in our next videos. Till then, thank you for watching, and you have a good day.